I don't want to grow up, and no matter how naive I sound right now, I just don't want to grow up. And I think we often forget that when we get older, we feel like we have to grow up. We feel like we have to do a certain thing and be an adult. But why? Why do you have to take life so seriously? Why can't you live the life as you always did as a kid? And don't get me wrong, there are certain things that you must understand. There are things that you might want to be a little bit more responsible. Learn how to do your own laundry, learn how to cook for yourself, learn how to pay your own bills. That. No question about it, I do understand. But overall, enjoying life to the fullest, knowing that life is too short, and just living life to how you want it. I believe that when we were a kid, it is a blessing. And we often don't really see that because of the idea that you don't know when you're really in the good time until you're out of it. And that, I can't quote that because that's not from me. It was from The Office through a guy named Andy Bernard. I love The Office, by the way. And the whole idea of that's exactly true. Because I remember when I was a kid, all I could ever think of was, I cannot wait to be an adult. I can do this, and that. I have more freedom. I can go out. I'll just be free and do whatever I want. And fast forward to today that I'm an adult, it's like, damn, I can't really do all this stuff because of I feel like I can't, but potentially I can. And I think the best part about as you get older is you get adult money as you start to spend more money on things that you never would have been able to buy as a kid. Or maybe you would, but now you will actually do it even more. Listen, I'll be honest, when I was a kid, I never really felt as a kid because I was the youngest child out of my family and everyone was a lot older than me. And with that being said, I felt like I had to take the role of being responsible and be independent on my own at a very young age. And someone once told me was that, why can't you still be a kid? Why can't you still do the thing that makes you feel like a kid? Like playing video game, buying Legos, watching cartoon, or maybe not cartoon, but just watching movies, And that's what made me realize that you're right. So that's something that I've been stumbling upon lately, is just having fun and doing the things that I would never done as a kid, or things that I would have done as a kid if I'd done them. And I guess it goes both ways at the same time. Another thing is that I think we often forget that when we are in high school, when we finish college, we feel like we tend to need to get only a 9-to-5 job to make income. But here's the thing. Nobody ever once told me that a 9-to-5 job doesn't always have to be the route. And I understand, making money without a 9-to-5 is extremely hard. It's not easy by all means. I'm still struggling to make this a reality as we speak. But I'm saying this because you have to give it a try. You have to sacrifice and protect the dreams that you genuinely want. And those dreams are whatever you are pursuing, whatever hobbies you love doing. For example, if you love traveling, that's great. Look for a job that will help you find a traveling gig. There are thousands of jobs that do traveling. You can do freelancing or PA work. You can do work in the film industry. You can work as a travel agency. Those are all great things. You have to find hobbies that you like and try to integrate it with making income. Because at the end of the day, you have to make income by any means of what you want. Because income is a survival tool. It's a way to just survive. You don't have to make a crazy amount. You don't need to make $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 a month to live the dream that you want. Would it be nice to have extra money? Of course it would. But at the end of the day, if you genuinely love what you're doing, all you want to figure out is how to make ends meet, to pay your bills, and just survive, And let's say your hobbies are not traveling, it's something else. Whatever hobby that you generally have, you can find a way to make income. And I think that's something that college or even high school, especially high school, they never told me this, is that you can find a way to make income through your passion, through your hobbies, A 9-to-5 job isn't the only way to make a source of income. And that's something that I realized. I remember talking about this with someone. It was that I said I don't want a 9-to-5. I want to do what I want to do. And they told me, you're such a kid. And I remember just hearing that, and I was like, well, good, I feel like as you get older, you start to bury your hopes and dreams. As a kid, you're inspired, you have these hopes and dreams that you can do whatever you want, and I remember all the time in high school, I remember talking to someone, I think my advisor, he was like, what do you want to do when you grow up? And I said, I remember I was doing YouTube at the time, I was like, I want to be a big YouTuber. And I remember the guy chuckled a little, and I was a little butthurt. I was like, okay, well, you don't gotta be a dick about it, But the whole thing about this is just knowing that he probably had a dream once. He probably had an idea that what he wanted in life, he did not want to do what he's doing. Because I'll be honest with you, I don't think anyone really wants to teach, unless you generally like kids, but it's a whole different story. But I generally believe that he did not want to be where he was, and he just buried his hopes and dreams, you know. And that's something that I never wanted to do, and that's something that I hope that you never do, is the fact that as you get older, you still have hope. You still have the dreams that you are pursuing, because as you get older, hope is the only thing you have, you know. That's what we stay alive for. That's what we live for. Because if it wasn't for hope, life would be very dark. It would be very miserable. It would be a life not to live for. It would be a life to just live by life, going through day by day and hoping and waiting, you know. And waiting for what? Retirement, in order to become 65 and retire with a 401k. And as you get older, you can't really do much, because one, you might have to be all on this medication, but two, you're not as young as you used to be. And don't get me wrong, I understand that it is hard to pursue your dream, you know. I will say it hands down, yes, but you have to find a way. You should always try to find a way, because hope and dreams will always stay aligned with you. It will have your back as long as you keep pushing forward, as long as you keep striving for it. You will lose your hope and dream once you get your 9 to 5. And honestly, that's not entirely true, but if you are still pursuing what you want through your 9 to 5 to make your dream works, then that's great. That's a great start. It's never too late. Just start, do what you gotta do, and remember that hope is behind us. And I wish you best of luck. Yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. I don't want to grow up. You know, as I was making this, I was thinking like, man, I sound like such a kid right now. But I'm happy that I am, because I want to like allow people to know that being a kid is a great thing. It's one of the best things to ever have as a mindset, as you don't think about logic, you don't think about emotion, you think about what you want. You think about what your guts and the heart is telling you. You're intuitive of the whole of what do you want at the end of the day. Not what your parents want, not what your friends are telling you, certainly not any mentor. At the end of the day, genuinely ask yourself, what do you want? And once you find that answer, you follow it and you protect it and you go full force, and no matter what you do in life, you go all at it and make this work. Because if it wasn't for that, what do we have to live for? Not a 9 to 5, not working at some corporate job, not working at some job that you probably hate. What we live for is what we're passionate about. What we live for is the things that we get up every morning and hoping to do that same thing, you know. And if that's something that you are currently living, then you are living a dream. You are living the life that everyone wished they could, and one day they will be able to do the same. But of course, it only starts with 2 words: just start. That's going to be it for today's video. Thanks for staying and watching, and I will see you guys tomorrow for the most part. Yeah. Alright, peace.